What's up, guys? This is Hype23, and today I want to go over the Ameriglo iDot sights. Before I get started, I just want to say that I did have an issue with these sights, particularly the front sight, which I ended up breaking during install, but I'll get into that later in the video. So these are tritium sights. There's a tritium vial in the rear and the front. They have an orange painted outline. You can also get it in yellow. The tritium is green, and they're very nice sights made by Ameriglo. They cost about 120 bucks from the website. They have a U-notch rear sight, which I really like, because the circle of the front sight just kind of fits inside that rear U-notch nicely to get an easy wide sight picture. These are very fast at transitioning between targets and coming out of the holster. It's very easy to pick up that front sight even in bright conditions. They work great at night, though it is a little bit different than having a 3-dot sight picture. I'll roll in some night footage later in the video and you can see how they work at night. They glow very bright. This rear sight is also cut at a 90-degree angle, which is great. That's going to allow you to rack it on your clothes or on tables or anything else you may want to rack it on. Very nice quality sights. The finish is pretty good. They are rounded and snag free, nicely beveled all the way around. Pretty good price point at $120. It's a little bit cheaper than Trijicon Hds and some other sights out there. They're pretty bright compared to some other sights I have, and they're very easy to line up. You just want to get the 2 dots as close as possible without covering the front dot. You know, if it's like this or like that, you're way off. They should be stacked right up on top of each other. I ended up breaking my front sight, and here's what happened. As you can see, half of the dovetail ended up breaking off. So to try and explain this, I'm going to try and explain what happened, I'm going to draw it. So let's pretend this is the sight. When I got the front sight, it had a slight bend to it, like that. And it was very minimal. I didn't think it would be a huge deal, and I thought it might straighten out during installation. But that's not what happened. So let's pretend this is the slide. And there's the dovetail. Well, when I installed the sight, it would go straight in to the dovetail, but this end would keep bending up. So this part just kept bending upwards as I tapped it in. Even though this part was straight, going in straight, this part would bend up. So I ended up tapping it down with my brass punch, straightening it out, trying again. Didn't work. Tried that a couple times, and then eventually the sight just came out and left this little piece inside the dovetail broken. So I contacted Ameriglo through email. I let them know what was happening. They asked me a couple questions, and then they sent me out a new sight. Shipping cost free, 100% on them. So I'm very happy with their customer service. The new sight came pretty fast, within a matter of days. So I'm not sure what the issue with the sight was. It could have been most likely heat treatment. If it was heat treated wrong, it caused it to warp. Probably not a machining defect, but could be. But regardless, I got my new sight, installed it. I did have to do some minor file work on the dovetail to get it in, which I used a 120 grit diamond stone from my KME sharpening system. Just very lightly removed some of the edges on the front sight. The rear sight I installed with no filing. Went in very nice and snug. Screw down the pin. I mostly just eyeballed the sights when I installed them to their location, and I took it out to the range and shot it, and they shot very well. The front sight is just extremely easy to pick up, and I love shooting these sights. Not having two dots on the rear allows you to focus more on the front sight easily, and your eye doesn't get distracted trying to line the dots up so much. You can just more focus on the front sight and lining that up straight, which is what you should do. The front sight is key. When you remove your factory rear sights on a Smith & Wesson, you want to remove them from left to right, this way, towards the ejection port. And when you reinstall your new sights, you want to come in from right to left, come in from the ejection port side, tap them in that way. You're going to want to clean out your dovetail after you get the factory sights removed using some alcohol and some Q-tips. Use rubbing alcohol or nail polish will work. And then I apply a couple drops of Tough Glide lube, or you could use any gun lube. Sorry about that. They should move with a firm hammer tap and a punch. You want to use a brass punch or aluminum, something that is softer than the metal you're trying to install so it won't mar it. But firm punches should slightly move it. They're not going to move very fast. But if you're finding you have to hit it very, very hard and you're getting minimal to no movement, you may need to file the sights. I recommend just using a 100 to 150 grit sharpening stone if you have one. You just need to file this front and this rear edge. Just follow the factory angle, file off some material. Do it very, very little at a time. You don't want to remove too much. Don't try it too hard to force it. You know, work with it, do a little filing. It's not, you're going to have to use some pressure with the hammer to tap it in, but it should move just a little bit with every strike. Overall, I'm very happy with these sights, very happy with the company and customer service, and these are probably my new favorites. They have some other designs, some fiber optic front sights, blank sights, Tritium 3-dot rears. So if you want a sight just like the Trijicon HD, they do offer that 3-dot sight picture with Tritium vials. I actually prefer this now. This is very easy to focus on the front sight and line up, not having to worry about those dots. And you have this dot for reference. And it works great at night. So thank you guys for watching. This was Hype 23. Post a comment, share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. See ya.